Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm here for my year-end list video, top 15 albums of 2021. This is going to be out about 3 weeks early since there's nothing else that I'm looking forward to for the rest of 2021. Gotta be really honest. So, it's going to be uploaded a few weeks early because of that reason. So with that being said, let's go and get started with this year-end list video for top 15 albums of 2021. So, kicking off in at number 15 now. This is going to make this band's fan base very angry, but I don't give a fuck, because I like to be controversial a lot of the times nowadays. And it is going to be Dream Theater's album, A View from the Top of the World. This is my least favorite album all year long, out of everything that I've heard. Yeah, man, this album was boring as fuck. The replay value is not there. This album bored the hell out of me both times that I listened to it. And I only listened to it twice since its release date, and I haven't gone back to it in full pretty much since then, or even the day after, because I've only listened to this album like 2 times since its release. So that ought to tell you how boring it was. I don't think it was bad or awful, just boring and meh and way too long of an album, just for 7 songs. I know they've done this in the past, but at least back then, it wasn't very boring. But yeah, this album just bored the hell out of me. So, my score for this, I'm going to change it to like a 5 out of a 10, because this album just way too long, way too boring, repetitive, all that. So, kicks off my year-end list video. Not a bad album, just have a lot of flaws with it, as already mentioned. So yeah, Dream Theater's new album, A View from the Top of the World, kicks off this year-end list video, and at number 15. I know it's controversial, but I don't care, because it is just my opinion, of course. So, number 14 is going to be Better Mistakes by Bebe Rexha. I know this album isn't as good as her debut album, Expectations, but I still think it was a solid album for what it was, you know. Some songs on it I liked and some songs I didn't, so it's kind of a mixture of songs I like, songs I don't like from Bebe Rexha's album, Better Mistakes, but for the most part, I still think it was a decent album, so I had to put it on here. So, Bebe Rexha's Better Mistakes, definitely a solid album, or decent. Some of the songs I thought were great, some I thought just were meh at best, so it's kind of a 50-50 album for me, but still not too bad though. So yeah, Better Mistakes by Bebe Rexha, and at number 14. Number 13 is going to be Anomaly by the band Fuel. This band's been around since the 1990s. This album doesn't have the original singer, Brett Scallions, because he ended up leaving the band again. I guess because he had some conflict with some band members or something, so he ended up leaving the band again. And once again, Fuel ended up finding a new vocalist. I think his name is John, I forget his last name, but this album, it was okay, but it wasn't one of my favorite metal or rock albums, or even any album of the year. But I still thought it was an alright album. So, Fuel, their new album, Anomaly, at least they tried, and they kind of pulled it off pretty good, because I enjoyed the album for what it was, even though it probably is my least favorite Fuel album out of everything that I've heard from the band so far, especially when it comes to listening to their stuff in full, you know. But I don't think it's all that bad, so I'm putting it on here. So number 13 is Anomaly by the rock band Fuel. I wish Brett was still in the band, because he's, of course, the original vocalist and their best vocalist. But however, Anomaly by Fuel, still a fine album for what it is. So number 12 is going to be Persona Non Grata by Exodus. I did get to review this album on the channel, and I just thought this album was pretty good, especially songs 5 through 12, I think. I think there were 12 songs on this album, if I remember right. But yeah, the first 4 songs on this album, Persona Non Grata by Exodus, I just didn't really care for those songs, but 5 through 12, definitely great stuff. Really enjoyed it. This was their first album since 2014, so about a 7-year hiatus without any new albums or songs from Exodus, but glad that they finally returned with a new album. So yeah, that back half of this album will blow you away. It's just great. Shows that Exodus can still make awesome thrash metal. So yeah, this album, if you're an Exodus fan, definitely go and check it out because it's definitely great stuff. First 4 songs, not so much, but the rest of the album is good. So yeah, 12 is Persona Non Grata by Exodus. Number 11 is Below by Beartooth. To be honest, I'm not really the biggest Beartooth fan, but I still thought this album was pretty good though. Pretty heavy album as well, so gotta give this band credit where it's due on that. Some songs were kind of meh though, but I still thought it was a pretty fine album, again. So, Below by Beartooth, pretty good stuff. Sorry I didn't have much to say about this album, I'm just not too big on this band, but the album overall was still pretty good. So yeah, number 11 is Below by Beartooth. So, we're finally in the top 10 here this year in this video. So kicking off the top 10 is going to be another thrash metal album, and it is Hell Unleashed by the band Evil. Definitely an underrated band. When it comes to thrash metal, I just really enjoy this band a lot. This is another band that had changed when it comes to a lead vocalist, because the original vocalist, Matt Drake, I think was his name. Well, he's still alive, but he ended up leaving the band for some reasons. I forget the reasons why, but he ended up leaving the band, and his brother, Old Drake, ended up replacing him on vocals for their new album, Hell Unleashed. And to be honest, I do miss the original singer, Matt Drake, because he fit better as a vocalist with the band. If you guys know what I mean here, I say that. But however, I still think Old Drake doing pretty good with this album. So yeah, Evil. This band, I think they didn't put out a new album until 2021. And the album before it, I think it was called Skull, last released in 2013, I think. So yeah, Hell Unleashed, their new album, released in 2021, was their first new album since like 2013. It's about an 8-year break from not making any new music. But yeah, this album, it is probably one of the better thrash albums of 2021, despite the vocal changes and all that with the lead vocalist. So yeah, Hell Unleashed. If you're a fan of thrash metal, then you definitely gotta check out this album because it's really good, minus the lineup changes with the vocalists. Still good album though. So number 9 is gonna be Thy Radius by Chevelle. I know I'm probably butchering this album name, but just kind of hard for me to pronounce, so try to cut me some slack on that, guys. But I apologize though for the mispronouncing, or But yeah, this was a good album. I mean, I haven't really gone back to it much since pretty much its release date, because I kind of forgot about it, So it's just another album that I kind of forgot about and just left behind. But I will go back and listen to it again though, because this album was amazing. out of the 2 albums that I've got to hear in full so far from Chevelle, this was really great. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is an album that I definitely need to go back to again and listen to. So yeah, My Radius by Chevelle comes in at number 9. Definitely a great album. Definitely check it out. So number 8. Number 8 is going to be Dancing with the Devil, The Art of Starting Over by Demi Lovato. To be honest, I didn't check out this album in full yet because it had a lot of songs. And sometimes I just don't really tend to enjoy long albums, especially if they're over an hour. Sometimes, but not always. But I don't think this was a bad album though, from the few or so tracks that I heard, because I heard the song Anyone, I heard the song Dancing with the Devil, I heard Met Him Last Night with Ariana Grande, heard her cover of Mad World, and maybe 1 or 2 others. So yeah, I did get to check out some of this album from Demi, and I enjoyed it, so for that reason I'm putting it on here. So along with Chevelle's new album, I gotta listen to this album in full sometime. So yeah, this album, definitely good stuff though, so I'm putting it on here and at number 8. Number 7, it's going to be the self-titled album by Era. Another album that I honestly didn't get to hear in full because I pretty much outgrown the metalcore genre, if you guys know what I mean, because I just listened to that stuff a lot between like 2018 to 2019. Kind of cut off on it in 2020, and haven't really listened to much metalcore since last year. And I'm going to continue to be like that because I just get bored of hearing the same shit over and over, if I'd be honest. But Era though, I think their self-titled album was good from everything I've heard from it, even though I didn't get to hear it in full before this recording. However though, this is another album I will go and hear in full, minus me not really being much of a big metalcore fan anymore. So this album, I will still go and listen to it though, because it's an album that is pretty good based upon everything that I got to hear from it. So number 7 is the self-titled album by the metalcore band Era. So number 6 is going to be Angel or Alien by Born of Osiris. This is a progressive metalcore band. And yeah, I got into this band in like 2019, I think, with their album The Simulation, I think was the name of that album. And like I said in the album review for Angel or Alien, when I reviewed the album on the channel this year, I said The Simulation is a better album, and I still stand by that. But however, Angel or Alien, definitely a good album still. I really enjoyed the title track. It's one of my favorite songs from the band in general, just a really heavy and catchy song. I really love the clean vocals on there, along with the aggressive vocals. So yeah, this album can be kind of boring at times because it's a pretty long album for this band. But however, I still think it's a good album still, regardless of that, So, manages to be pretty high in my year-end list video. So yeah, Angel or Alien by Born of Osiris, still a good album. And it was one of my favorite progressive metalcore albums of 2021. So yeah, number 6 is Angel or Alien by Born of Osiris. Definitely good stuff. Minus that it can be boring at times. Still not a bad album though. So we're finally in the top 5 now. So kicking off my top 5 is going to be Violence Unimagined by Cannibal Corpse. This was the first Cannibal Corpse album that I actually got to get on CD, since I'm not really the biggest fan of death metal, but I like some death metal bands though. Cannibal Corpse is included in that short list. So, Violence Unimagined was a great album. Probably my favorite death metal album of 2021, since I didn't really get to hear much death metal this year. But however, this album is great. I really enjoyed it. I think it was the first album without one of their members, but however, this was still a good album. They still kicked ass with this album. So yeah, Violence Unimagined, definitely another good Cannibal Corpse album. This band, from everything I've heard from this band so far, has been great. Not disappointed at all. Their new album is no different than their previous stuff. Based upon the small songs, or small amount of songs that I got to check out, since I don't know all of their albums in full. That's what I actually meant to say on that, so my bad, guys. So yeah, Violence Unimagined, though, kicks off my top 5, and at number 5. Great album. If you're a fan of Cannibal Corpse and death metal in general, then this is an album you should check out. Definitely good stuff. Number 4 is Senjutsu by Iron Maiden. This is another double album. I had a complaint with this album, how like the first disc had like maybe, I think like 5 or 6 songs, and then the second disc had 4 songs. I was wishing that they would have done 5 songs apiece to make it even for both discs, but however, it is what it is. Still a good album though, and I personally prefer it over the Book of Souls. I know that might be controversial, but it is just my opinion, of course. So yeah, Senjutsu, definitely a good album. Darkest Hour, probably my favorite between both discs, just a great song. So yeah, overall though, it is definitely a good album from Iron Maiden. So yeah, if you love classic metal and Iron Maiden, then this is an album you should be checking out, because it's definitely a good album. I know it had some longer songs on the second disc, but however, those songs were great still. I really enjoyed them. So yeah, Senjutsu by Iron Maiden. Definitely good stuff. So, kicking off the top 3, and at number 3 is going to be Aggression Continuum by Fear Factory. This is another band where a band member ended up leaving. Sadly, the original vocalist, Burton C. Bell, was the guy to leave the band. He actually ended up leaving the band before this album's release. However, though, he still contributed to lead vocals on this album, since the vocals, I think, were recorded in 2017 when he was still in the band. Him and Dino ended up having some conflict pretty much, so that led to Burton C. Bell leaving the band. Burton C. Bell did make a statement regarding why he left the band, so you guys can read about that. Some sad stuff, but however, to end out his career with Fear Factory, he went out with a bang. Just a great album, really good stuff. I think this is their best album since 2004's Archetype. That's how great of an album this is. So yeah, Aggression Continuum, great stuff. One of my favorite albums of the year, easily. Just a great album for sure. So yeah, Fear Factory. If you're a fan of these guys, please check out this album, because they'll definitely deserve it after everything they've been through with these lawsuits, Burton C. Bell leaving, and all that. So you definitely got to feel for the band Fear Factory out of everything that they've been going through for these last 6 or so years. Definitely sad stuff. But however, glad that they could finally release another album after that whole time with that lawsuit and stuff. So yeah, this album is great. So Aggression Continuum in at number 3. It was an album that I was thinking of having in at number 1, but there are 2 albums that I just think are slightly better, but this is still a great album nonetheless. So yeah, number 2 is going to be the self-titled album by Bullet for My Valentine. Holy hell, guys, this album is amazing. I think this is their best album since Screaming Fire. So this is my second favorite album of 2021. And overall, my second favorite album from Bullet for My Valentine. So if I've ever done a future album ranking or re-ranking for Bullet for My Valentine, then you guys will know this would be my second favorite, and at number 2. So yeah, I think this is their second best album of all of their studio albums. Just an amazing album. They came back better than ever after such a disappointing album. which was titled Gravity in 2018, but they bounced back from that and came back swinging with a banger of an album from beginning to end. I know one song on the album was kind of radio friendly, it had that Gravity style, but even that song was still great. And Bullet, with this album, they proved that they still can make their heavy and aggressive music, so it's definitely great to have. So this album is fucking amazing, the best metalcore album of 2021. So yeah, this album is amazing, and I cannot wait to get this album on CD sometime, because this album just kicks ass so much. Seriously, it's that good of an album. So number 2, Self-Titled by Bullet for My Valentine. If you love metalcore, please check out this album, because it's just great from beginning to end. Great stuff. So number 1 is In the Court of the Dragon by Trivium. Holy fuck, guys, this is just another great album on the list, and it is my album of the year, album of 2021, no doubt about that. Just a great album, again, from start to finish. I know Feast of Fire was a radio-friendly track pretty much, but even that song was still good. And The Court of the Dragon, the title track of the album, definitely a fucking awesome song. Takes you back to the Shogun era of Trivium, and even Ascendancy. That's what I really digged about the title track of the album. Lots of other great stuff too, though. Feast of Fire was another great song. I forget some of the other song names because I haven't really listened to this album in full in a while, but however, it still remains my album of the year, of course, because this album was so good. So, yeah, what is there really to say about this album when it's that good, guys, to be honest? So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for my top 15 albums of 2021. Let me know y'all's favorite albums of the year, and I will have some honorable mentions in the description of this video once it's getting uploaded to the channel. So yeah, guys, thanks for sticking with me all year long. Look forward to the year 2022. So yeah, guys, I'll see y'all next time for some videos for the rest of 2021, and of course going into the new year. So yeah, guys, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.